Hello, and welcome to another vlog with your host Damon Standing. It's another Pugley vlog, as you probably guessed from the background and the fact I'm holding one of these. But today we are going to talk about Matt Baker and Jefferson Pugsley, and not that Matt Baker, not the one shaped like Matt Baker. He's awesome. This guy, this Matt Baker is a complete dick. Let's give it a little bit of background. So obviously, if you haven't already read, go to pugleycomics.com and catch yourself up on Jefferson Pugsley versus Jefferson Pugsley. So, yeah, the great thing about this one is we introduced Vicky in Roller Coaster Extraordinaire, and now we have some antagonists, and that would be in the form of Matt Baker and Jefferson Pugsley. So you may remember a while back, I said Alex Turner. He got his name from kind of combining two people I knew, Alex Baker and Matt Turner, and putting them together. So obviously you can see Matt Baker is the opposite of him, and in his design he is very much the opposite. He is much more muscular. There's a great picture of him that I love, where I tried to make him look like one of those old Japanese paintings. Maybe just generally, they're there. Come on, love that picture. But yes, you can see he's physically superior to Alex in every way, and I put those in quote marks. And basically, he's Alex's old school bully, and you can tell that he's just there to piss off Alex and to make his life more difficult. Hence, with the blatant stealing of Jefferson Pugsley with Jefferson Pugsley. And he's just a mean guy. He's not a nice guy in this book, and he hasn't actually returned in any of the other books. Basically, I wanted to introduce someone who was properly antagonistic to Alex, but still in a way that wasn't. It was someone that he couldn't just call the police on, because they're locked in a game, so to speak, that it's just a playground, bullying and rivalry, and they know each other too well. They're not Batman and the Joker, but they're Batman and the Joker, so to speak. And you also get to see that much more sympathetic Vicky in this book, but it's because she's genuinely worried about Alex, and he is being stupid by not getting the police involved, but it's just like kind of an honor thing for him. You can see that picture of them when they're school kids, which is a story I do want to tell. I want to, because obviously they don't see each other often, they're not friends, but I mean, Matt knows enough about Alex to know that his pug is called Jefferson Pugsley. So yes, that's Matt Baker. Jefferson Pugsley, however, you can see that you may remember I said that I gave Pugley, not Pugsley, like our Pugley, Jeff, I gave him black paws and a black tail to distinguish him from other pugs, and I didn't do that to Jefferson Pugsley because he is a normal pug. It's very clear that there's something up with Jeff. There's possible supernatural abilities, especially at the end of this one. Pugsley is a normal dog. I gotta show this because it's one of my favorites. If you search pug fight in Google Images, you will get what that is a reference to. It's one of my favorite little drawings in the entire series. In fact, I used to sell these little badges at Comic Cons which had that on, and they went down a tree. Jefferson Pugsley versus Jefferson Pugsley was my favourite for ages, mainly because what's better than a comic about one pug, a comic about two pugs, that are competing. So so that's kind of a basis of the character designs, so to speak. You got basically an opposite with Matt Baker in name and in design and in kind of like how he behaves, and then with Pugsley he's got a darker face, but otherwise he's quite a normal pug, and that is the point of opposition, is that Jeff is not a normal pug and Pugsley is. Sorry, Pugley is not a normal pug, Pugsley is. And that's why Jeff has no problem kind of getting around him. But you're probably wondering where I even got the idea for putting man and pug versus man and pug. It's basically because lots and lots and lots of people just kept on misnaming Jefferson Pugsley as Jefferson Pugsley, and I wanted to play into that. It's just a little bit more of a joke for me. But then obviously, where do you go from a comic about a pug? You pit them together, and went down a tree, and it's quite nice because there's a lot more scenes in this book. You have a quite peaceful setup. There isn't a problem to start with. Then the bullying or the rivalry happens. Then you've got kind of the nighttime scene with the flaming dog turd and stuff, and there's a lot more going on. And it's the first Jefferson Pugsley that I went over the page count that I originally wanted, and I had 2 extra pages compared to the previous 2, and it opens up a lot more questions. Nightmare Pugsley, man. I love using Nightmare Pugsley. He does occur more, but you've got this whole blatantly Walter White inspired neighbour beating the crap out of Matt. It's this one does amuse me. It just feels like so much more is going on in this third outing. But of course, it's also not just the third outing; it's the end of the first trilogy. So the reason why they were in trilogies is basically I had some publisher interest with Jefferson Pugsley, but it wasn't long enough, and they wanted some more. So I got them all done within a year. But ultimately, unfortunately, fell through. But it was a really nice time to actually go and do these, because I had to do them quite quickly, and it really made me work hard and smart. Yeah, I think you can see in the art style here, you're beginning to pick up a lot more influences from like One Piece and one of my old favourites, which heavily inspired the artwork in Tasman Rogue, is Black Cat with the motion blurry type stuff, and One Piece with those darkened eyes whenever someone's like super deadly serious. But yeah, that's discussion for another time. So that's basically where Matt and Pugsley come from. They are again opposites in a similar way to Vicky and Tamsin, and there is a link, and it's pretty obvious, but I'm not going to say. But yes, that's the end of the first Pugsley trilogy. So I call this the friends and antagonists of Jefferson Pugsley. So it's really character focused, whereas the next trilogy is a lot darker. So stay tuned, and I look forward to discussing those at a later date.